Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be live very, very soon. I hope you're all well. I hope you are gathering. Why don't I see any live chat there? I hope everyone is well. Konnichiwa! He says, Konnichiwa, I hope you are all well. I hope you can hear me okay. I hope the chat's working all right. Hello, Stadia peeps indeed. Random Noob, David, Jerome, everybody in the chat. Lovely to see you today. Konnichiwa, one and all. Welcome. Welcome, one and all, to the Stadia Monday Night Chat. Here we are again. It's 10 o'clock and we're doing this once again. Stadia Monday Night Chat. I'm Clive Illenden. I will be your host tonight. Of course I will. Let the people gather. Come gather round, Stadians. Come gather. As I say, I'm Clive Illenden. I will be your host tonight as we take the bullet train to Stadia Tetsudo Eki in downtown Tokyo. Shupatsu Shinko Banzai! That's a little tribute there to my Japanese girlfriend. So, I hope you're all good. I hope you had a good week. I hope the lockdown, if you are in lockdown, is not getting to you. And I hope you are all well, healthy, and safe. As they say, stay indoors if you have to, if you can. Now, Mr. Rocks, lovely to see you. Good evening. Phil, good evening indeed. Liam, hi there. Jerry, Rigor, always good to see you. Welcome all. Thank you for all turning up again. It's always lovely to see everybody in the Seavesville regulars and new people coming back. Few announcements to kick off, I think. Few announcements. So this week I became a YouTube partner. Yay! Yes. This time next year I'll be a millionaire. I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, so I qualified to become a partner at the end of just before Christmas. And it's taken 3 months for them to kind of finally get around to approving. I thought they'd forgotten about me, but they haven't. And I got an email this week, so it means I'm a partner, which is fantastic. And of course, it means super chats in the house. Super chats in the house. You should see the super chat thing there. So please feel free to avail yourself of the super chats, and I'll make sure I read out your chat, etc. I mean, I'll probably read out everybody's chats anyway. So, but there you go. It's there. Who's going to be first, I wonder? In addition, I don't know if many of you are aware, but I also have a game streaming channel. It was called Lord Kensal, aka the Gamer Dad, and I've changed its name now to Lord Kensal of Stadia. And this is going to be my dedicated Let's Play, first look, game streaming of Stadia games. So that's where I do all my game streams and game play videos. And there's a few up there already, so make sure you check that out. It's Lord Kensal of Stadia. And please subscribe to that as well. At the moment, I'm just having fun playing through the games, giving you my first impressions, and I plan to do more and more of those. Anyway, also, just on there's so many Stadia podcasts out there and stuff, and I'm be doing some collaborations. But who do you think I should collaborate with? Who do you think I should reach out to and maybe do a collaboration within the Stadia community? Let me know. And if they're willing, maybe we'll try and make it happen. But just, give me an idea of who you might think would be fun to do a collab with. And finally, as well, also in the news as well, finally, ka-ching! It's Rigor in the house. Rigor wins. Thank you, Rigor. Thank you for your finest, I want to say Spanish euros. Thank you. I should have special look. Arigato gozaimasu for that. Thank you. That's what that gets. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Anyway, as I was saying, finally in the news. Oh, my daughter's in the back. I am live streaming, and everybody can see you there. Hi. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Anyway. Also in the news, I'm live streaming.
I was going to do some Just Dance ruining my
Can you do it later? I'm streaming live. Sorry, doing a live podcast. Hello. Can you believe it? She wanted to do Just Dance. Stadia, bloody Stadia players. Get out of here.
I'm playing Just Dance on Stadia.
All right, not now because I'm streaming, yeah? You crazy lady. Yes, and finally in the news, sorry about that distraction, ladies and gentlemen, I finally got accused of being a paid-for shill for Google Stadia. Yes, made it at last. But anyway, that's all my news, all my details. Let's get to the proper news, shall we? Let's get to the proper news. Let's see what's been happening in the world of, let's get the right transition. There we are, in the world of Stadia. Evening all there, David. So, announcement today. There's been a lot of, I don't know if you've seen, a lot of Get Packed. So a lot of Get Packed videos recently. They've been showing some campaign playthroughs, talking about the number of levels. I think there are 15 levels, talking about the co-op. And clearly, we're on the verge of this being released. Is it going to be Do we think we're going to get it in April, or do we think it's going to be a pro game for May? I mean, it would be nice to have I don't know, I'm in two minds. Sometimes a brand new indie game or an old AAA game for pro, or a mix of both. Mr. Handley! Konnichiwa? No, yes. Arigato gozaimasu! Thank you. That's most generous of you. Anyway, get packed. Am I going to be doing this all day? Get packed. Yeah, I think who thinks it's coming out this month, because the developer keeps releasing videos. There seems to be one every day giving us, as I say, they showed us some of the campaign, which is this video here. But even today, I think at 8 o'clock, they did another video. So I haven't watched it all yet, but they went through some of the campaign levels. So check that out. There's been another video released only at 8 o'clock today, I think, from the developer. So they're on the verge of releasing it. I think, yeah, Rigor, I think it's an April release. I don't think we're going to get it pro game. I think they're just going to drop it. We're due a couple of games, maybe Easter egg, literally an Easter egg. We could do with an Easter egg. Maybe to drop it for them, because I think it's going to be quiet over the Easter holes. So could be the week afterwards, but then you're close to May. Who knows? But anyway, so that's Get Packed. That's coming very soon. And of course, there were other game announcements as well. Here we go. So what do we think of these new game announcements? We've got Gun Sport, which is sort of a volleyball with guns. I mean, I'm all for this sort of retro style, but then again, I just think, I don't know, to the ill-informed, does it look kind of a bit basic? I don't know. I mean, I know what they're doing. It's a sort of a tribute to the sort of almost 8-bit early consoles, sort of Japanese games that used to get, and the styling and all of that is very, very cool and sort of in line with that. So yes, of course, MA. MA, you missed my whole Japanese opening. And it was dedicated to you, MA, so you missed that. But yes, advert before. In fact, the advert I saw before the video today is that woman that I find really annoying in adverts. So there's justice for me. But anyway, yeah, so these sort of 80s, late 80s Japanese style games, and it's got that real retro feel. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it probably play well, but I'm not, for me, I'm not 100% convinced. But this, shall I put the music up for this one slightly? Because I do like this. You can hear that. You see, I like the idea of this. Let's just drop the music a bit there. I like the idea of just shapes and beats, personally. It's like a sort of what they call them, like a run and gun game, like a Galaga. Is it Galaga? Am I saying that right? The kind of classic fast shooting thing, but with beats. I saw somebody saying they didn't quite understand what the game is, but I think it is. So like Cuphead in a way, which is just like fast moving, avoid the bullets, avoid the rockets, shoot, but to a kind of happening soundtrack. So I'm quite, I mean, yes, I could do with some AAA games, but the that looks fun. It's gonna have that sort of annoying level of sort of spitlings, I think. And if it's sort of co-op as well and multiplayer, online play, then I think that's even more awesome, personally. So what do you think of those games? Let me know whether you're looking forward to any of those games. Any sort of favorites with those? And what have you been playing this week as well? Obviously, Stacks on Stacks was a pro game. So tell me about the pro games. I mean, I've been playing Stacks on Stacks. I've been playing Serious Sam, of course. I've already got Spitlings, so I've been playing Spitlings multiplayer as well, because now more people have got it, so that's quite cool. Stacks on Stacks, I don't know, the jury's out on that. It's a good game to just sort of drop in, drop out of, but I'm on the level where the platforms are on slopes. I mean, what's that all about? It's bad enough when they weren't on slopes. But anyway, that's stacks on stacks. And as for Serious Sam, oh my lord, I'm loving Serious Sam. It's just proper mindless popcorn gaming. But I've just spent 3 days. I was discussing it earlier in the chat with somebody there, Jerome, I think it was. I just spent 3 days on the same blooming level. Can you believe that? 3 days, and 20 minutes ago, I actually just beat the level. Finally. It's the ones with this sort of, if you've played it, with stupid skeleton, I don't know, skeleton bulls. I call them skeleton horses, but they're skeleton bulls of some sort. Oh, it's relentless. It goes on. And just when you think you're done, no, keeps coming. And then it throws in something else at the end. Oh, my Lord, it's ridiculous. So any of you been playing Serious Sam? Let me know. Anyway, so I think, it's a pretty fun game, and so now I'm on the next level. I feel like I was just on the it was just on the verge of me sort of giving up on it, but I thought no, I got a little bit further each time. I've been playing a lot of Division 2, which is kind of cool. That's a good game to drop into as well. Yeah. It's not, David Handley, it's not because your phone's a Pixel. I hate to break it to you. Lol. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the kids love it. And my daughter uses it, as you saw, as she's trying to burst in there, deciding to do a live stream, oddly enough, to I don't know what, TikTok or Snapchat or whatever, live stream her just dancing. But yeah, so a lot of Division 2, and I did buy the Crew 2 as well, but I refunded it. So this is the first game I refunded because I almost forgot. I was umming and ahhing, and then I remembered how easy it is to buy a game and just test it, and that's well worth doing. I'm just not good enough for the Crew 2, to be honest. I'm just not good at handling the driving in it. I don't know what it is, and I tried it before on the Xbox, and I had the same experience, but I thought I might be better on the Stadia, but I wasn't. But I thought I'd give it a go, and it's so easy to refund a game as long as you haven't played more than 2 hours. It's worth just testing stuff, to be honest. Nobody's gonna, Google aren't gonna get annoyed with you if you just keep refunding stuff. And it is so easy just to go into your Google account and go, no, refund, and boom, within 5-10 minutes, or almost instantly sometimes, you're refunded as long as you play less than 2 hours. And that's a really great. I think it's a real benefit that people don't really you don't really realize until you use it that you have that kind of benefit. But let me know what games you got apart from Just Dance and stuff. Ghost Recon. I played a bit of Ghost Recon when I think I had a trial on Xbox for a while. I got into the camp area, and then you go off on missions. I guess it might be worth revisiting again. Is it a bit like the Division 2 where you go on sort of these side missions? Is that the kind of concept of it? Let me know what you think. But anyway, there's the sort of the basic news. That's the games that we've been playing and stuff. So as I say, let me know. At the moment, my time is mostly Division 2, Spitlings, and Serious Sam. Yeah, Stacks is awesome. The music's very catchy, MA, I must admit. The illustration is terribly tacky. But I think that's the point of it, oddly enough. He's sort of, the developer's sort of on a thin line between sort of being kitsch and sort of slightly satirical in his drawings, and people thinking actually they're terrible illustrations. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because he did say he tried to style them on the box drawings that the art style used to get in early games. So I think that's what he's going for, and if in that regard, I think he's achieved it, to be honest. But anyway, those are the games that people have been playing, and I've been playing, and that everybody here has been playing. So that's good. I just want to touch on Doom Eternal as well while I'm here, which means let's go back to me. So I know a lot of the great Stadia creators out there have been commenting and having their say on that Digital Foundry article. I'm sure you're all aware of the Digital Foundry piece and video. So there was a video by one of the members of Digital Foundry, not Richard, but Tom and the younger guy. And he did a comparison of Doom Eternal on Xbox One X, the most powerful console in the world, and Doom Eternal on Stadia, the cloud gaming service. And overall, he said that the Stadia version visually was pretty impressive, very amazing, on a par with Xbox One X. I mean, at close up, there's a few elements in the distance that there might be a bit of a difference. But overall, incredibly impressed with the visual quality of Doom Eternal on Stadia, comparing it with effectively the best version you can get, unless you've got a £2,000 PC. But certainly the best console version you can get, which is the Xbox One X, which is meant to be on a par in terms of graphic fidelity with Stadia. And Digital Foundry did their analysis and basically said it's as good as, it looks fantastic, and it looks really cool. And then he talked about the latency and lag and said there was a difference, which probably there is. But then he showed that there was a difference, and he said there's a difference up to 100 milliseconds, which on top of Stadia, which is around about 70 to 90 odd, I think it was, which I found difficult to believe. And I think most Stadia players who play Doom Eternal also found that discrepancy quite high between the Xbox One X one and the Stadia. And then he went on to say that it made it, for him point of view, it was sort of unplayable or was not a fun experience, and you're better off playing the Xbox One X. And that obviously got people really riled in the Stadia community. It was that negative bit. I think no one is denying that side by side, Doom Eternal on Xbox One X on a console in your home, as opposed to streamed over the internet, is probably going to be marginally faster. Now, we have seen where latency is almost on a par, if not better. So Red Dead Redemption, again, Digital Foundry said, the latency on that is as good as, if not slightly better than the Xbox in some conditions, Xbox One X. But anyway, so that no one's denying then probably if you stopped and you filmed at 240 frames per second, that there would be a difference. And I think Random Noob, who I saw earlier, did you not do your own analysis? Random Noob's in the chat, so big shout out to him. If you've not seen him, go to his channel, check it out. And he found the lag on Doom anywhere between 130 milliseconds to about 150. So you're averaging around about 140 milliseconds, compared to Xbox's about 95. So you're talking 40, maybe 50 milliseconds difference, which is nothing, really. So from an experience point of view, as most of us who play Doom Eternal, it's like it plays. Nobody gets that kind of, this is unplayable. I've done Project xCloud, and I played Halo in that, and it was fun and it was playable, but I noticed the lag and it was not as much fun. But I certainly don't get that with any Stadia game. It feels like a console experience. And side by side, who's going to play out on Xbox One X and then jump to the Stadia there in that space? Nobody. So it's a bit of a pointless exercise anyway. But that's my view. Yes, there is probably inevitably some slight difference in the latency and lag, but from a playing experience, it's certainly not unplayable. It's certainly one hell of a load of fun to play, without a shadow of a doubt. Doom Eternal's like a blast. And it feels super responsive. And if you play nothing else, you're not going to have any complaints. I'm sure if you went and played it on a, as I say, a £2,000 PC, you probably might notice a slight difference. But you've got Stadia for a reason, because you want to play games on Stadia. And as long as the games look fantastic, play fantastic, that's all that really matters. So, as I say, latency is not really an issue. So it was just unfortunate that seemed to be the sort of the final hook of the article. And there was some. I'm curious that they found the latency that large when nobody who seems to have it seems to have that, notice that experience, as I say, and Random Noob's analysis didn't seem to be that high. And there are loads of factors that they don't mention that could come into play. I was checking my ping recently, and it's really low where I am for some reason. It's about 9 milliseconds, which is pretty impressive. But if you're elsewhere and your ping's higher, that's going to have an impact on it. But they don't talk about those sort of things. Oh, Michael John. Arigato gozaimasu. Oh, lost my glasses. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. But anyway, let me know what you think about the Digital Foundry Doom Eternal. I just think it's unfortunate that we know that certain media and YouTube channels are just looking for that negative thing about Stadia, and that was the thing that people picked up on and played. And yet you read there was an Android Police article on Doom, and it said, hey, this is great, a hell of a lot of fun. If you've got Stadia, you should definitely play it on this. It's great fun, which is more of a fair assessment. If you've got Stadia, then Doom Eternal is really fun. It plays really well and it looks amazing. That's all you need to know. Not what it's like compared to other kind of systems, because you're not going to be playing on those systems. So it's just unfortunate that became the sort of a repeated sub-headline in all the other articles and pieces that went on. But I'm not, Digital Foundry do their job, and it would be nice to know some more factors behind the setup that they had. But there you go. I'm not worried about it. I'm not sure Google's that worried about it. We'll get caught up in our bubble, in our little Stadia bubble, commenting on each other in a little echo chamber here. And obviously it riles us when we see these things. But trust me, and you zoom out on the bigger picture, this is just it doesn't matter. And the people that Stadia will appeal to when Stadia Base launches, none of this means anything to them. It doesn't mean anything to them. They just think, wow, I can play AAA games through my browser. That's amazing. Do they play well? Yeah, they do. That's all that's going to matter when Stadia Base is launched. Anyway, that's my view. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the article. Did it rile you? Did you not really care? You having fun playing Doom Eternal? I mean, it is hard. God, it's a hard game. I'll tell you where the lag is. The lag and latency. I'll tell you where the latency is in Doom Eternal. It's between here and here. That's where it is. There to there. That's adding about 10, 20 milliseconds. I can tell you. The older you get. Michael, look. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you again, Michael John. Right. Project Tempo. This is what I wanted to talk about. So, I'm not the first here. I'm not the first Stadia creator or commentator to talk about Amazon's cloud gaming platform, Project Tempo. There's been some stuff in the, I think in the New York Times and in some other outlets have picked up on the article. And I've noticed a lot of Google Stadia commentators that say creators comment on it and read those articles out. I'm not going to do that, because when I read an article like that, knowing what I know about the way Stadia is reported, we should all know. We should all learn our lesson. Don't always trust the way things are written. Go and do your own research. So I've gone and done my own research and gone straight to the horse's mouth, as it were, and I've gone straight to Amazon, and I'm going to transition this in here so you can see what a lovely site they've got. Zen Alpha, how are you? Good to see you. So here we are. Here's their site. This is Amazon Games. They're all ready to go. Now, they've been recruiting since about 2016. His career's here. And I think what they're clearly doing, Amazon, if you don't know. So the idea is that they have, it's been rumored for a while, and why wouldn't they? They've got the largest cloud server business in the world, Amazon, bigger than Google. I looked it up today. Again, do your research. I looked it up. I'll come to that later. Obviously, they've got Amazon Prime. Obviously, they own Twitch. So you can see the parallels there. Google have massive cloud servers. Google own YouTube. Amazon Prime know that streaming games and watching people play games is massive, absolutely massive. Google also know that watching people play games on YouTube, not live necessarily, although they obviously, we're doing it live now, but Twitch is the destination of choice for sort of live game streamers, but the choice for catching up or watching videos later is, of course, YouTube. So Google have YouTube, Amazon have Twitch. So you can see why it all makes sense. But Amazon are clearly taking a different approach, as far as I can see. So this is my opinion here. So they're taking a much more different approach to the way that they enter the gaming market. And it's very much in line with the way Amazon released their products compared to the way Google released their products historically. So the way I see it is that Amazon are really starting with games first, as almost as like a proof of concept. One, the games will be developed on Amazon's own tools, in the same way that Stadia has its own developer tools. And so these games will basically be, and they'll be released, initially these games will be available on PC via Steam. So they're just PC games, but they're using the Amazon game technology. That's the key thing, I think, to demonstrate, A, to put Amazon games in people's minds. Hey, look, we produce games. And B, to demonstrate to developers that the technology that they have to be able to build games, develop games in the cloud in the same way that Stadia developers can develop the games in the cloud. They don't need to buy kits, console kits. This is what Amazon are trying to do. And whereas Google tend to go, wow, look at this amazing tech and what we can do. Go on, have a little play, and then we'll build on it later, which is what they did with Google Home, Google Assistant. They sort of released it quite bare bones, really, compared to, say, Alexa, which was sort of much more of a finished product. And that's the difference between the two companies in the way that they operate. As I say, so Amazon have acquired and set up Amazon Game Studios. So they acquired some developers and then they set up Amazon Game Studios, and they originally announced 3 games. Breakaway, which is now cancelled. Amazon is going to walk away. They cancelled their games. Imagine if that was Google. Breakaway, which they were developing for a number of years, and they cancelled. And then the other 2 games are New World and Crucible, both of which I think were meant to be launching this month. It may well be, I think Crucible is going to be launching in May. And you can see here, so there's New World. Again, the game and the choice of games is interesting, and the Crucible here, which is a sort of, I don't know, an Overwatch meets Battle Royale type thing where you work together and then you're on your own. So initially you're working with fellow competitors to destroy, as far as I can say, to destroy the aliens or whatever, shoot the baddies, and then when they're done, it's mano a mano, as they say. But anyway, so those are the games that they're currently developing, and they'll be released on, initially, I guess, on PC via Steam. I know that New World is getting released via Steam. And as I say, because of COVID, it says here, so I've got a quote here, I think. There is a sci-fi themed first-person shooter called Crucible, and then the massively multiplayer online game New World, both due to launch next month. But the spread of COVID has delayed the Crucible launch, so that's April. So they're going to be launched in May, and they originally planned to be launched in March. And they will be for PC via Steam, and clearly they're going to be really pushed heavily on Twitch. So Amazon are going to go to their top Twitch. Well done, Michael John. Thank you. You gave me your first super chat. Much appreciated. It makes me feel very special. Yeah, so Amazon are clearly going to push New World on Twitch. They'll probably pay their top Twitch players, whatever, or the ones that sort of play these sort of MMO games or whatever, pay them to sort of play the hell out of New World. And also Crucible, interestingly, is another game which is similar to a lot of games that people watch. And in their interview with the New York Times, they talked about developing games that players could play on Twitch, that players would want to watch on Twitch, players would want to interact with on Twitch. Now, this is very similar to Google Stadia, because at the Google Developers Conference, there was a session specifically about how do you make games that appeal to content creators. So Google and Amazon are very much aligned in what it is they're trying to do, and bring their streaming platforms, so introduce cloud gaming and bring their streaming platforms together, and provide content for their streaming platforms. So I think that's really kind of exciting from that point of view. But the other thing, as I say, that's interesting about Amazon Games and their setup here is, as you'll see, as I said about these games, I think these games are meant to be demonstrations of what Amazon can do, so that developers will jump on board. So in their partners section here, they talk about a sandbox for innovation. In Amazon, we're making bold bets in gaming. Our relationship with gamers goes back to 1998, when we began selling video games for the Dreamcast. Now we have Amazon Game Studios, Twitch, AWS, which is their cloud and back-end servers, and Amazon Lumberyard. Now, it's this Amazon Lumberyard here is a free cross-platform 3D game engine for developers to use to create high-quality games. So this is very similar to the Stadia back-end engines that they've got. So they're sort of developing the tools for developers to develop for their platform in exactly the same way Google is. And I think Amazon will come when they launch Project Tempo, which is meant to be 2021. They will launch it a more complete product than Google launched with. And to me, that's partly just the way that Google operate and the way they launch products, and perhaps they shouldn't have launched Stadia quite in that way, but it's the way they do things. But whereas Amazon are much more about the finished product. And I think the great thing about Amazon being in the game along with Google is that it normalizes cloud gaming for the masses. Cloud gaming for the masses, that's what it does. I don't think they'll work together necessarily, because I just think in the same way you have Amazon Prime and Netflix and lots of others, but they're the two main ones, Amazon and Prime, both offering content, sometimes the same content. I think you'll have, effectively in my view, you'll have three players in the cloud gaming arena. You will have Stadia, Project xCloud, so you'll have Xbox, virtual Xbox, and the Amazon game, so Project Tempo. They'll be the three main ones, and it'll just be a choice of preference. Each one will offer different things, and in the same way that when smartphones came out, I was not interested in having an Apple, an iPhone. I didn't want to be in their closed ecosystem, but I did like what Google were offering it, which was sort of an open source sort of system at the time, and it just gave you more options and choices, and that's why I opted for Google. I've always liked Google products. I just like the cut of their jib, as it were. I just like the way that Google operates, and I always have. And they've not really let me down personally in terms of the products that I've got for them. My house is covered in, again, it's like with the Alexa. I think Alexa launched earlier and had more products that it was compatible with, but the better technology is in Google Home by a long shot. Google Home have the intelligence. Alexa's a bit limited in the way it can interact. Google Home feels more like Google Assistant on the Google Home feels more like your Tony Stark when you're talking to Vision or something. Not quite that bad, but it's much cleverer in the way that it works. But the most popular smart system is Alexa. So I think it may well be true with cloud gaming. Google Stadia may well not be the dominant force in cloud gaming. It may well be Amazon, but that doesn't, being second isn't necessarily a bad thing. It becomes a choice. Do you want the really good one, or do you want the popular one? I'll go for the really good one. That's my view. I think that's how it's going to work out, as I say. But it's interesting times, and I'll be curious. I've applied, obviously, to get beta access to some of the Amazon games and to see what they're like, so that we can talk about it. And obviously, because I'm a techie guy and I want to see what they're doing. So let me know what you think, chat. What do we think? What do we think of Project Tempo coming? Do we think we'll see it next year? Do they think they'll have more games ready? I just think it will launch as a more complete product and probably more fully integrated than Google is. But by the time they do that, Google will have a much larger library, will have integrated all the things that they've kind of aspired to, may even be launching their first proper built for Stadia exclusive game. So it's going to be good. I think the way that Google operates, it's good that they got in early so they had time to build and work up and get to that point, whereas Amazon will wait and launch ready. Google will be ready, running and complete the time Amazon get round to do that. So that's good. Rigo, I think absolutely Google are on their timeline. I don't think that's going to change. Hip Hop Hobby Club, welcome. I don't think that's going to change. Google do what they do, and they're going to roll out their updates and upgrades as and when. As I say, by the time 2021 comes around, there's going to be, a whole more than 120 games on Stadia. The notion of big AAA releases when they're released for all the consoles, that will include Stadia, so that will just become the norm. It won't be, it's coming to Stadia. It'll be going, of course it's coming to Stadia. It's on PlayStation, Xbox, and Stadia. Of course it is. That'll just become the norm. So exciting times ahead, and I look forward to see what Amazon does. But whether the finished product in terms of the quality and everything else is on a par with Stadia, I don't know. We can only speculate, but we'll see. But I think it will just come down to personal preference and personal choices. So anyway, that's my view. Stream friendly games. Just so people know, because I've seen people talk about it in various other chats. Did you know, little fact here, with Amazon there, Amazon Cloud, AWS here, their web services, which is basically their cloud, is the largest cloud service in the world. And for Amazon, it represents more than half of its operating income. $7.3 billion in 2018 came from cloud services. They are the number one cloud service company in the world. Google is about number 5, although this is in 2018, the 3rd, 4th and 5th place are very, very close. It's Salesforce, IBM and Google. They're very close around the sort of the top 3. It's basically Amazon, AWS, Microsoft with their Azure cloud services, and then Salesforce, IBM and Google around there. But they're massive. I mean, I'm not saying Google is still massive, but sometimes we just assume because Google own the internet, as it were, that they have this massive all their servers, and they do have massive servers, but they're not the biggest in the world. They've got Amazon and Microsoft ahead of them in terms of servers. But it's not the quantity, it's the quality. That's what I say. As long as you're up there. Anyway, that's my view on Project Tempo. Everybody else had been sort of having their say. I thought I'd go away and do a bit of research rather than just read out the article. Just sort of add a bit more context, a bit more depth to it, and just generally give you my feedback. But there you go. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about it? Rigor says, I wonder it will become the norm that every multi-platform comes to Stadia. I think it will. It will be another console. That'll be it. It's just, especially when it's Stadia base. When Stadia base is launched, it's like a shop, if you think about it. People can come there and they can buy products. They can buy games off the shelf effectively. So if you are as ubiquitous as YouTube, i.e. on everybody's browser, as a shop, you can just go in and buy it. One more thing, actually, I had a thought about also just about the model, the business model for Project Tempo and Amazon. I think it will be similar to Amazon Prime, in which there is a mix of exclusive free stuff and products you buy in terms of games. So I think that their cloud gaming won't be a all-you-can-eat Netflix. It will be a combination, in the same way that Amazon Prime is, of stuff which is Amazon Prime and is included within your subscription, and stuff you can buy. So that stuff that's on all the other platforms that you can buy, and they might do a few deals for exclusives in the same way that Google has, and so in a way it's similar to the way that Google releases 2 or 3 titles except a month to Pro members. But I think there'll be more, in the same way there are a lot more films that are part of the Prime package, and then there are loads of films that are not part of the Prime package and you have to pay for them separately. And I think that's how it will be with Amazon's cloud gaming service. I don't think it will be an all-you-can-eat service like a Netflix. It will be similar to their Amazon Prime model. That's my view. Let me know what you think. As I say, it's all speculation. All we know is that they've got the game studio set up. They've got the games coming out on PC, and I think it's just a quick way for them to say to everybody, hello, we're in the gaming business, and get everyone excited, because tech is sort of exciting, but it's not quite as exciting as having physical games that people can play, and I think that's what the approach Amazon are taking. David Handy, I'd like to see... I used to be a Prime member and had the worst customer service on a particular item I've ever had, which took months to resolve. So out of principle, I'll never buy anything from the company ever again. Oh. Yeah, well, fair enough then, Alpha. I don't know what I'd do without Amazon. I see the Amazon drivers at my house nearly every day. I can't stop buying gadgets, little cheap gadgets and tech. And the fact that it's next day delivery, it's just amazing, really. That I well paid, because I think back in the day before Prime, you had to pay your £3, £2 or whatever postage each time or whatever it was. It's amazing now. You just pay your Prime. It easily pays for itself. I mean, I must admit, I don't watch much Amazon Prime. I used to watch more. Yeah, I watch more Netflix, to be honest, but I haven't. I have loads of subscription services. I just like to have choice. When you've got kids and stuff, it's like, what we're going to watch, and it's like, well, choice. I'd like to see Stadia. David Handy said, I'd like to see Stadia become part of YouTube Music and YouTube Premium. I can see it being a package, maybe a family package of stuff. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, Zen. Yeah, Amazon Prime. That's it. I get that. If you get a lost parcel or something, and it's something you want, and customer service is rubbish, you're going to be well annoyed. I get that. I've been lucky. Fingers crossed. So far. As I say, I have so many empty Amazon boxes, especially during lockdown. I'm bored. So apart when I'm not playing games, I'm browsing Amazon for ridiculous things. I bought a product which arrived 3 days later, and then I couldn't remember why I bought it. It's crazy. Lockdown's sending me crazy. Anyway, I hope you're all safe with the lockdown. Anyway, so that's the news, the views. That's what I've been doing in Stadia wise. As I say, that's everything up to date. Let me know what you've been doing. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know what views you've got. I can see one of these companies, Resurrect says, chasing FIFA license when it comes up for renewal. Well, we've already seen Amazon. Yeah, Amazon have entered that market, certainly here, haven't they? In the UK, they've started buying matches, Premier League matches. So I can certainly see that. And I'm waiting for EA's games on Stadia. Now you mention it, and I was thinking, are we just going to see a whole sort of shed load of EA games all delivered at once in the same way that sort of Ubisoft? Because I can't, Ubisoft the dominant publisher on Stadia, but where are the EA games? They're coming, but I wonder if they'll all drop at the same time or roughly within the same time scale. I'm working two computers here, so bear with me. Regal had a comment earlier. If you want your comments to go to the top, then you don't forget to use the super chat. Then I definitely will read them out. PC parts that are in Stadia. Oh, that's interesting, Liam. So what you're saying? You think it's effectively the same sort of graphics cards and stuff that they're using? That's all these things are much of a muchness, isn't it? There's a lot of similarity between PlayStation 5 and Xbox One X and stuff. It's you're limited with the tech, aren't you? You've got either sort of Intel or AMD. You just take your choices, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, there was some rumor that EA were going to do their own cloud system, but I just think what you'll end up with is what we're beginning to get in film and television, which is actually not, but you'll get it before. So what happened with that is that, Netflix burst onto the market and took everybody by surprise, and then Amazon jumped on it, and most products, TV and film, you could get through Amazon or Netflix. And then the rights owners thought, wait a minute, we could set up our own cloud service and start charging customers. Disney is the prime example, but it's not just Disney. It's home box office, it's HBO, it's Universal, it's Warner Brothers. They're all doing it. So now it's like, okay, so it means, and they're taking once their licenses are finished with Netflix or Amazon, they're taking the products off. Doing the same at the BBC. I know, I'm working there. Take the products off, put them back on, onto their own platform, as it were. And then it means as consumers, we're going, okay, I'm paying for five quid for Disney, my 8 quid for 7 quid for whatever it is for Netflix, my 8 quid for Amazon. And I don't want to have the same in game. I'd rather have services that you say, you choose your platform, whether it's your Xbox in the cloud, your Project X cloud, or your Stadia, or Project Tempo, whatever it is, the Amazon, and you can then you either pay for the subscriptions to access games, so like Ubisoft or EA, via that particular platform, rather than have to sort of sign into different cloud services all the time. But it'll be interesting to see, because Epic are meant to be launching their own cloud service as well. So that's another one. It's just like there's not going to be enough room. I think like the console market, it will be dominated by 2 or 3 key players. And I think we know who they are. There could be something that comes left field, but I think it's going to be Google, Xbox, Amazon. And I know I don't talk much about PlayStation. It's because I don't see what they're doing other than doing a partnership with Microsoft Azure for their cloud services. Surely they should be having a proper cloud service, a gaming service. And I don't mean the PlayStation Now service, because that's looks dated compared to what we're seeing with Project xCloud and certainly with Stadia. So what are they doing? Where's their announcements? Are they really keeping it under wraps? I don't know. Is it the sort of Japanese conservativeness about sort of being quiet about what their plans are, rather than the American sort of like, this is what we're doing? I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're buggered, but I just think it's fine for this next generational console. That's not a problem. But you need to be planning any business. It's the three pillars, they say: the current product, the future product, and then development. And each of those pillars take over each other. And the current product is the next generation of consoles. And the next thing, currently in development, is the cloud gaming, and they should be there already. They should have been doing that for years, and maybe they are. I don't know, but they seem very quiet about it. And if you're a Sony shareholder, you'd want to know, what are you doing in the cloud gaming arena? How are you going to get access to the cloud services? Well, we know they've signed a deal with Microsoft Azure, so as I say, the second biggest cloud service in the world. So they've got the cloud service facility there. But what is their game offering going to be? So that'd be interesting. Yeah, it could be. Sony could be the new Sega. I mean, who would have thought Sega was going to go to this, and then Microsoft come in, and everybody was slagging off Microsoft. You see a pattern here, don't you? What's Microsoft? When Microsoft, said they were going to launch their own console, literally the console market is the way that people react to Stadia now. It's like, they don't know anything about games. They just do PCs, software for PC, Windows. What are they doing in the gaming arena? Get away, don't like it. Then Sega goes by the wayside, and it's just basically Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo, always left field, doing their own thing, but being very successful at it. And I think we'll see, as I say, a similar 2 or 3 major players in cloud gaming. And the consoles, I think, have they got another generation after this generation? You're talking another, 5-7 years? There's some be iterations of the current. Well, I was saying Nintendo always do things left field. I think they'll be all right. They could provide, their games via the cloud some way. Their games would kind of work on it. It's just the left field quirkiness of Nintendo. I don't think they necessarily need to come out with a cloud gaming plan. I think they could jump on board with somebody. There was rumors that, say, Project xCloud was going to be an app on the Nintendo Switch. Not sure that will happen, but there was that rumor for a moment. But yeah, so I think that there'll be 2 or 3 key players, and we know who they'll be. But anyway, that's, exciting times if you're into cloud gaming. And as somebody, I'm going to show you, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to show you, let's go to I just want to share with you, let's go to my history. A conversation I got into with, so there was, a video about, I can't find it now. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. It was The Gamer. Let's see if I can find it. And he was saying what happened to Stadia. Here it is. What happened to Stadia? PS5 versus X, that's 5 months ago. Where's his most recent video? Anyway, he did a video, what happened to Stadia, and I was in a conversation with somebody on there, and this is the person that accused me of being a paid shill, and then he looked up my YouTube account and said, yeah, you're a paid shill. I hope they pay you well. Because basically the end of our conversation was, I said, cloud gaming is a thing, mate, get over it. And he was, no, it's not. And it's people like that. You just think, have you never studied any history? Have you never studied what happened to blockbusters? The rise of Netflix. Of course, cloud gaming is a thing, and the guy's an idiot for thinking it's not. But there are plenty of people out there. It's hard to, when you've been around the block a bit like I have. I remember the idea of streaming TV or films, streaming and whatnot. It was the idea of downloading films to then watch later was pretty like a big leap to make at the time. But the idea of streaming and then streaming in 4K, which didn't even exist at the time, the notion of that was so far-fetched, would never work. And when Netflix launched, people were, what's the point in that? You need too much bandwidth nobody has that level of broadband to stream films and TV like that. The quality is going to be terrible. What a stupid idea. It's never going to work. Now look at Netflix. Blockbusters went bust because they didn't change their business model. Cloud gaming is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to break it to all the people who get annoyed. And when they call you a shill, in these comments, when you've been civil and they call you a shill, I think you've won the argument. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way I look at it anyway. I try to avoid getting involved in this conversation, but I've been doing it more and more because I just think it needs to. You just need to challenge people a bit, not aggressively, but just sort of say, correct them on the facts. This YouTube video I was talking about by the gamer called it "What Happened to the Stadia." Straight away, I said in the comments, anybody who calls it the Stadia is clearly ill-informed from the get-go. It's not the Stadia. I don't know. It's not a difficult concept. It's just Stadia. The Stadia. Anyway, Stadium for life. Yo, brother. Of course, hip hop. Absolutely. Why so much cable TV? Why do you need all those channels for? Well, I grew up in the UK. When I grew up in the UK as a boy, there were 3 channels. 3 television channels. Of the highest quality, in fairness. I mean, and that's what we grew up on, the basis that it was all quality. Even the ITV, was held to account by the level of quality of, the BBC offering. And then Channel 4 came in the 80s, 82 or whatever it was, 4 channels to sort of offer a slight left field alternative view. And then satellite came and then everything all burst and, all that. But, people, life changes and new technologies come along and the market gets disrupted. And we saw it in Netflix. I know I keep banging on about it, but working in television, it's really hard to express how much Netflix has disrupted the marketplace in a way that nobody saw coming. We can see now what's coming, but in a way that meant that people had to fundamentally, broadcasters and content publishers had to fundamentally change their business model, the same business model that they've had for 70 years, 50 years. They've had to radically change their business model, and that is because of Netflix and partly Amazon Prime, who got into it because of Netflix and loved film. So they were about the same time, and we're going to see exactly the same thing with cloud gaming, I tell you, just from my experience. Stadia, many of the 3 channels did shut down. I even remember, and I'm going to give my age away here slightly, when there was no daytime TV. In fact, they brought in daytime TV partly because so many people were unemployed in the early 80s. I think no, I wasn't quite old enough to be unemployed, but I was unemployed later in my late teens, so I could sit and watch Neighbours. But yeah, it went to, you had like the toddler programming. So you had the new, you didn't even have breakfast TV. You didn't even have breakfast TV. Then you had toddler programming. And then it went to the test card, which freaked me out. That clown thing, the clown balloon thing on the test card. Oh my God, that freaked me out. I'm going to find it for everybody here, and that's how we should finish. Test card go. Image. Oh my God, did it freak me out. It looked like a skull. When you're a little kid, go on, show me a big picture. Right, so this is Generation X. This is Generation X stuff. Show me the picture. There. When I was a kid, and the sort of the kiddies programs finished, you know, like Listen with Mother type. Wasn't Listen with Mother. That was slightly before my time even. But whatever it was, Bod. Whatever. When Bod was done, this came on, and that clown looked like a skull to me as a young boy, a young, easily influenced boy. Freaked me out. Still have nightmares about it. Is she ever going to finish that crossword? I mean, tic-tac-toe. Crossword. Noughts and crosses. Anyway, on that, ladies and gentlemen, on that little trip down nostalgia lane, I've been around the block, as I've said. I've never seen markets disrupted since really the internet has come out and new business models have come. Netflix is a prime example of it. And cloud gaming is a thing, ladies and gentlemen, and all the people who... Anyway, if you see anybody saying it's not a thing, just point them in my direction. I don't mind explaining to them, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mind explaining. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say, we went a bit rambly there, but a bit off, but I think it's important, just puts everything in context. On that note, I want to thank everybody who's come to the channel today. Everybody used Super Chat for the first time. One last time. Where's the spot? Arigato gozaimasu. Have a wonderful time. Your broadcast for the evening is now complete, and we go to the test card. Beep. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a really good time, and I will play you out some music, I think. We get the music? Let's get some music. Play you out Bass Rebels, as I say. There we are. Play some Bass Rebel music. Say thank you for popping by. Really appreciate it. Get rid of the adverts. Get rid of that test card. That's freaky. Yeah. Put the test card on. Up the music. And say thank you for listening. Thank you for being around. I really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you. Tell your friends, share, like. You must like. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you same time, same place next Monday night. Thank you for being here, spending your evening with me, Clive Illenden.
Times like these are here to show. You can do things for me and more. I got your back, just take things slow. I'll bring everyone to show that I want your heart and more in my own life. I'll tell everyone there's no stopping us. Can I have you for the rest of my life? Times like these are here to show. You can do things for me and more. I got your back, just take things slow.